That was quick reaction. Now to dogged pursuit. The interview with Anwar Sadat climaxed nearly 7 years of continuing efforts to get the president of Egypt, starting with Nasser. It was the first exclusive television interview President Sadat had ever given.
During the continued fighting and negotiation in the Middle East, President Anwar el-Sadat of Egypt has been the pivotal figure in the effort to bring peace to the area. Issues and Answers went to his home outside Alexandria to bring you an exclusive one-hour interview with the President of Egypt. Issues and Answers, brought to you by the American Broadcasting Company from Alexandria, Egypt. Our guest, the President of Egypt, Anwar el-Sadat, in his first network interview program. President Sadat will be interviewed by Elma Lauer, President of ABC News, ABC Rome Bureau Chief Barry Dunsmore, and ABC Beirut Bureau Chief Peter Jennings.
Good afternoon, President Sadat, and welcome to Issues and Answers. This is my first visit to Egypt in 4 years, and I seem to detect a much friendlier relationship between the United States and Egypt. I believe you yourself have remarked on this, but could you tell us what is the real foundation of this new relationship?
Well, first of all, welcome here in my retiring place here. Well, there are many, many factors and many reasons for this. The main thing is this, is that there has been a miracle that has took place, and it has been done through the change of the American policy towards this area. Really, it was a drastic change towards peace based on justice. Well, there has always been the fact that there has never been between Egypt and the United States anything except this problem of the alignment of the United States with Israel. When the United States, under Nixon's administration, and with the great efforts of Dr. Kissinger, changed the policy towards peace based on justice, well, everything will be natural again, and we have the full, meaning of friendship and very good relations between the two countries.
Mr. President, would it be correct to say that the cornerstone of Egyptian foreign policy at the moment is to depend on the United States to persuade or pressure the Israelis into accepting a position which is acceptable to the Arabs?
Well, it is not this exactly. You know, the ceasefire resolution that was taken in the Security Council was guaranteed by the United States and the Soviet Union. And it says the ceasefire, number one. Number two, the immediate implementation of Resolution 242 of the Security Council of November 57. So the United States in this resolution has guaranteed the ceasefire first. Second, the immediate implementation of the Resolution 242. This is a completely new position for the United States, and a complete change in the attitude of the United States towards us for peace, for achieving peace in the area. So it is not only the United States has the better chance, more than the Soviet Union, this is a fact. They have the better chance. But from our point of view, we are, as I told you before, we are having now a balanced relations with the two powers. Before, we didn't have good relations with the United States. Now, we must have a balanced relations, taking in consideration that the United States has, as I told you, the best chance in achieving peace in this area.
There is a fairly general impression afoot, I think, Mr. President, that you yourself, as the leader of this nation, are placing perhaps too many eggs in two baskets, notably the basket of Mr. Nixon, a president weakened at home by domestic affairs, and Dr. Kissinger, who may not be around forever. Do you, in fact, feel that there's too heavy a concentration on those two men?
Well, you see, I was told this by some of my Arab colleagues. It is not only you that is saying this. Some of my Arab colleagues are discussing this. Well, it is not putting all my eggs in one basket. It is this. I say that we are in a turning point now in this area, the most dangerous area and the most dangerous problem in the whole world. Even when Vietnam existed, the Middle East here is the most dangerous area. Well, now, under Nixon's administration, and with the efforts of Dr. Kissinger, there is a drastic change in the policy of the United States towards peace.
Well, if you see that drastic change with those two men, Mr. President, what support do you see for it in the United States Congress?
I beg your pardon?
What support do you see for that change in policy about which you speak in the United States Congress, in the House and the Senate?
Well, I have met some of the congressmen and senators here, and I think they understand the whole situation now, and thanks for your administration also, because your administration has put the facts before the congressmen and the senators. So I don't find difficulty in persuading them what is the real situation now.
Are you afraid, sir, that if President Nixon should be impeached, that American policy could change?
Well, as a politician, I must make my calculations for this. But I depend upon a new American situation. It is not only the President's situation and the Secretary of State's situation, but the situation of the Congress, the Senate, all those who influence the decision in the United States. I put great importance, attach great importance to this, and I feel that there is a change of understanding to the facts in the area here in all these circles.
Would you like to assess the foreign policy potential of Vice President Ford? How do you feel about Vice President Ford? Would you envision that he would change the policy in the Middle East?
Well, as a matter of fact, I don't know him, really. I know nothing about him. All what he has said maybe doesn't encourage me, because all what he has said before, it has always been the old line of alignment with Israel. But I depend, as I told you, upon the change in the American policy that has reached the Congress, the Senate, the Pentagon, and I think there is a new policy now.
Mr. President, you recently told Cy Sulzberger of the New York Times that you would welcome American arms. I assume that's true, but did you have something specific in mind you'd like from the United States?
Yes, I have lots in mind, not something specific. I have lots, because I have known your arms, and I have told the committee of the Congress that visited me lately about the latest arms you have, and which was used against me in the battle. They mentioned it in their report. I have lots in mind, but up till this moment we didn't reach anything that I can tell you about. But As I said before, I welcome.
What do you think the most effective American weapon was used against you, as you say?
Well, there has been some anti-tank missiles, very advanced, called POW. There has also been the television bomb, and various arms, various other arms, yes.
Mr. President, can it be true that your optimism about United States policy is such that you envision America abandoning its support of Israel to the extent that they would supply you arms?
Not at all. Not at all. I never dream of this. And when I say that there is a change in the American policy, I don't mean at all that that America has abandoned the support of Israel and the guarantee to Israel. On the contrary, last war, President Nixon has supported Israel more than that, saved Israel, and has supported them and gave them 2.2 billion that no other president has done this before. But the change I'm telling you about is this. Before, they used to look to us here as an enemy area or a sphere of influence for other power here, let us say for the Soviet Union or for any other power, or for your interest in the area here, we are dangerous against your interests in the area. Now, this has been ended, and this is what I mean, the change of the United States policy towards our area, towards us here. Now, America, under Nixon and Kissinger, they are seeking peace, real peace.
Do you think the oil boycott was one method of changing the American attitude?
Beg pardon?
Do you think the oil boycott was one way in which the American attitude was changed?
Well, I must say this. While the embargo took place, my communications with Dr. Kissinger and with President Nixon has taken place. And I must tell you quite frankly that in spite of the embargo, they were taking from our point of view, the correct approach to the problem. For that I told you that after 26 years of bitterness, hatred, violence, and a very complicated problem, there is a turning point for peace.
You have called the oil boycott a legitimate weapon. So has King Faisal. The Americans, the public, usually, have called it blackmail. Is there a chance that it will be used again, either as blackmail or as a political weapon?
Well, let me tell you this. In the first place, the embargo was only a message to you in America, a message to the Western European countries that has never took us serious before. And they have never heeded to our point of view before. We wanted to tell you in this message that please look to the facts in the area here. We don't want you on our side. I never imagined of America on my side against Israel at all. I'm just wanting you to be objective and to look to the problem objectively and look to the real facts and try to understand our point of view. That's what we want only. So it was a message only, the embargo. And after the message has reached you, the embargo was lifted. Because you received the message.